Bitcoin is booming, recently breaking the $100,000 barrier for the first time. But according to a man who was one of the world's most successful hedge fund managers, there's a better way to make money from Bitcoin. Larry Benedict claims you can make $4,898 or more from the Bitcoin markets without actually buying any Bitcoin at all. Using Larry Benedict's Bitcoin skimming strategy, you could have skimmed 6 times, 9 times, and even 22 times more than regular Bitcoin investors and traders made from this incredible rally, all without risking a dime in the crypto markets or putting your money into shady Bitcoin exchanges that could collapse at any moment. During this interview, you'll learn the secret to skimming $4,898, $11,145, and even $17,350 or more into your account. And you don't need to know a thing about Bitcoin or crypto to skim this cash. All you need is the 3-step method Larry will reveal today. And right now, Larry will show you how to get started as soon as tomorrow morning. So without further ado, let's go ahead and meet the man behind this remarkable strategy, Larry Benedict. Larry, always so good to see you.
Oh, thank you, Kim. I'm happy to be here and I'm ready to go.
Well, I am ready to go too. I like your energy. But I want to address something right up front. You know, a lot of folks out there, sure, they may love Bitcoin, yet most people, including me, don't own any. In fact, a lot of people have seen Bitcoin hit that $100,000 mark and thought, oh my gosh, I've missed the boat. So just to make sure we're on the same page here, you're not telling people to go out and buy Bitcoin, right? We're going to be able to go for these payouts without touching Bitcoin or crypto?
That's correct. There's still a ton of money to be made here without buying Bitcoin. With Bitcoin skimming, we're using the power of booming Bitcoin transactions to skim cash into our regular trading accounts. No crypto experience needed, no Bitcoin wallet, none of that. That means you don't have to worry about losing money when a Bitcoin exchange collapses or gets regulated out of existence. Instead, you can do everything through a standard trading account. And even better, we can collect this cash no matter what the market does, what the Fed does, and where the dollar goes next.
Well, I definitely love that. That's such a relief. But Larry, if this were coming from anyone else, I've got to say I'd be pretty skeptical. But you are, quite simply, one of the most widely followed and respected traders on earth. Now, for example, Barron's has ranked your hedge fund, Banyan Capital, in the top 1% worldwide. You once pocketed $95 million in pure profits, while the S&P 500 cratered 37%. And you're now chapter 3 in Jack Schwager's book, Hedge Fund Market Wizards. I've got my copy right here. And you are right between billionaires Ray Dalio and Joel Greenblatt.
Oh, not bad. I'll take that for sure.
I'll bet, but it's so deserved. And Larry, your trading ideas have already handed your fund more than $250 million in cash profits. And today you're going to reveal your latest money-making breakthrough. Now, I'm talking about Bitcoin skimming. You say this is a way to consistently skim hundreds to thousands of dollars thanks to a huge boom in Bitcoin transactions without touching any crypto or setting up a special account, anything like that.
Well, we've been optimizing this strategy for more than a year. The results have been phenomenal. We've been able to crush Bitcoin returns 6-to-1, 9-to-1, and with another skim, you could have beat Bitcoin 22 times over.
Wow, so for every $1,000 I could have made with Bitcoin, I could have made $22,000 from this new method?
Exactly, and some of my followers recently had the opportunity to do exactly that.
Yeah, we can see some of the notes from your followers there on the screen.
And it's important to note that they did this without risking a dime on Bitcoin or any other cryptocurrency, and without sending a penny to some shady, unregulated Bitcoin exchange too, don't forget.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, because that definitely has made me a little hesitant, Speaking of that, I know Bitcoin has been on a tear this year, but you're not really a crypto guy, right? You're an old school Wall Street trading legend. You made your money the old-fashioned way on the regular financial markets.
Well, look, I've traded pretty much every financial market in the world and have been doing it for about 40 years. And I was introduced to crypto early on in its infancy, and somebody came to my office. It was trading at about $800. I was running my hedge fund. I really kind of like the idea, and I like to take calculated risk. And I probably would have done something in it, but I'm running money for some of the richest people in the world. And I had family office and a number of different investors. And I don't know if they would have been happy with me buying something that was not in a federally regulated account. So I kind of shied away from it. And I didn't end up buying it, which obviously looking back was a mistake. But it was very difficult to buy. So that was really my first foray into Bitcoin and crypto. But I've been following it for the last 15 years, from its rise up from $100 to over $100,000. And I feel like now it's a great way to trade it by trading in my federally regulated or your federally regulated brokerage account. So we have the ability to do that, so you don't have to worry that your money is going to disappear, because you can do this in your Fidelity account, Charles Schwab account, or whatever account you have.
All right. And my big question is, do we have to worry about whether it goes up or down? I mean, do we need a Bitcoin bull market to make money here?
Well, during our testing, we amassed an 85% win rate with this strategy over 18 months. And most of that came during a massive Bitcoin crash. So to answer your question, no, we don't need a Bitcoin bull run to collect this cash. Even if Bitcoin collapses tomorrow, we could keep skimming profits.
Nice. In fact, you're about to show us how that strategy works today. And by the time we're done with today's interview, everyone watching will know what Bitcoin skimming is and why it's better than trading Bitcoin, how skimming became possible thanks to a landmark SEC decision, how you could go for up to $4,898 or more over and over again without the risk of having to buy and hold Bitcoin. And finally, Larry will reveal his 3-step method for collecting your first payout starting right away.
That's right. The opportunities are coming fast, so time is of the essence.
And speaking of that, what exactly do I need to start collecting skims?
Well, I have good news for you, Kim. You won't need some crazy crypto account. You won't need a wallet on Coinbase. You don't even need to know how Bitcoin works. You'll just need a computer with an internet connection, an ordinary online brokerage account with the ability to receive money, and about 10 minutes to follow my 3-step strategy for collecting up to $4,898 over and over again. And you could make even more money, much more.
Okay, and just to be extra sure here, I can skim these payouts using my traditional online brokerage account, correct? I absolutely will never have to open a crypto account or buy Bitcoin, period.
Correct. No wallets, passkeys needed with this either. If you can trade a stock in your Charles Schwab account or any other brokerage account, you can do this. And I will prove it to you right here, right now.
All right, we can do this. You said it. But look, Larry, how is this even possible? I mean, I understand how people usually make money from Bitcoin. They buy it, wait for the price to go up, and then sell and take a profit.
Or they wait for the price to go down and they take a loss.
Right, yeah, and I'm hearing that happens a lot too. But you're saying it's possible to make money from Bitcoin without taking the risk of buying it?
Exactly. Instead of buying Bitcoin, we can skim Bitcoin thanks to Bitcoin transactions. We don't care if they're pushing Bitcoin to the moon or to the ground. The more Bitcoin transactions we see each day, the better we do.
Okay, so just to be clear, make sure I'm understanding here. We're talking about the transactions between other people when they buy and sell Bitcoin?
Right. And here's how it works, Kim. When the Bitcoin market goes crazy, there are a huge number of transactions every single day. The more transactions we see, the bigger and faster our skims tend to hit. And over the past few years, transactions have exploded.
Wow, yeah, just look there. I can see that. It's been going nuts.
Yeah, a few years ago, transactions hovered around 270,000 per day. But lately, we've seen spikes of 730,000, 810,000, 920,000 transactions. Every single one of those spikes is a huge Bitcoin skimming opportunity for us.
So that's because more and more people are buying and selling Bitcoin?
Absolutely. We're talking about as much as $72 billion worth of Bitcoin transactions being bought and sold every single day. Compare that to Visa, which processes roughly $38 billion of transactions, or even MasterCard, which processes roughly $24 billion in transactions.
That's mind blowing. But why is Bitcoin so much higher?
Well, Bitcoin crossed the $100,000 mark last year. That's getting a lot of attention from investors and the media. The price has more than doubled in 2024. That's why we're seeing this massive influx of new money into Bitcoin right now. And the more money, the more transactions, the bigger our opportunities get.
Well, then you got to love all the hype that's building around Bitcoin right now, right? The industry is predicting a crypto golden era thanks to Trump's crypto-friendly policies. Barron's is saying the price could double again. Okay, and Larry, what really gets me is there's even talk of the U.S. government creating a strategic Bitcoin reserve where the Federal Reserve and the Treasury will buy 1 million Bitcoins over the next 5 years and then hold them for the next 20 years.
That's right, Kim, and that's why you got some really credible people on Wall Street, analysts at companies like Standard Chartered, Fundstrat Global Advisors, and Van Eck, talking about Bitcoin climbing to anything from 180,000 to 250,000 in less than a year.
Wow. Okay, so why shouldn't everyone watching just go out there and buy Bitcoin and make a serious profit in a year?
Well, because I think there's a better way, Kim. Instead of buying Bitcoin and waiting a year, there's a way you could potentially skim as much as $30,000 from Bitcoin in as little as a week, but without risking a dime in Bitcoin or even caring whether Bitcoin goes up or down.
Okay, wait a minute, Larry. I know you're the man who generated $274 million of profit at your fund, but this sounds hard to believe, even coming from you. You're telling me these opportunities are getting that big right now?
Well, that's an extraordinary result, Kim, but I've seen it happen with my own eyes. Think about this. We know the S&P 500 delivered about a 23% up year in 2024.
Yeah, not a bad year.
Right, but you could have collected $1,150 in profit from a $5,000 stock portfolio on that gain. But like we said earlier, Bitcoin more than doubled in 2024. So you could have made $6,100 in profit if you put $5,000 into Bitcoin instead.
Okay, so $6,100 profit instead of $1,150 over the exact same time period?
But here's the thing. With Bitcoin skimming, you could have made way more without risking a penny buying Bitcoin at all.
Okay. How much more are we talking here?
Well, in that case, $35,000.
Whoa, okay. So with Bitcoin skimming, I could have turned $5,000 into $35,000 in a year?
No, Kim. With the right moves and getting the timing just right, you could have turned $5,000 into $35,000 from Bitcoin skimming in just one day.
One day. So I'm getting what? 30 times more than I would have made with stocks and 5 times more than I would have made with Bitcoin. But instead of having my money tied up for a year, I'm doing it in just one day.
And that was just one of many Bitcoin skimming opportunities that we have seen.
Okay, now Larry, come on. I mean, I love and trust you, but it can't be that easy, right? You're not trying to tell me this works every single time.
No, of course not. But during our testing period, we saw an 85% success rate on our trades.
85%? All right, so the wins can make up for the losses and then some.
Exactly. This chart shows some of the opportunities my followers have had.
Nice. Look at those payouts. And they're coming fast, too.
You can see where my followers had the chance to skim 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, and more time and time again. That's 18 opportunities to skim an average of $1,503. And get this, Bitcoin traders lost an average of $211 during each one of these skims. And of course, we only trade when we see the best opportunities. But in the past, we've seen as many as 2 or 3 opportunities minimum a month.
Nice. Okay, so how do we start seeing this money in our accounts?
Let's start by showing you how Bitcoin skimming really works.
That sounds perfect. I'm ready to take some notes. I'm sure you are as well. But to be clear, again, you're seeing these results 85% of the time.
During our testing period, that's exactly what happened. And while Bitcoin traders lost an average of 4.22% during our test period, my followers had the chance to skim 21,049 instead.
That's a big difference. But Larry, how did they do it?
Let's pull up our first case study and take a look. And whenever I say a case study, Kim, I'm talking about an actual opportunity I found myself and sent to my subscribers.
Okay.
Take a look at this. Based on our indicators, a massive transaction spike was about to send Bitcoin soaring. So I alerted my inner circle of followers and told them how to collect their skims.
And what happened with this case study?
The transaction spike caused Bitcoin to pop 4% very quickly. So you could have made $200 from your hypothetical $5,000 Bitcoin account.
Okay, so not terrible. And
No.
with skimming?
No, not at all. But in skimming, we made $4,898 from this exact same move in Bitcoin. That means skimming would have paid you 24.4 times more. And that's just one case study. We have dozens more.
So almost $5,000 instead of $200 in the exact same amount of time. I mean, how could I not want to at least try it at this point, Larry, right? For every $1,000 from Bitcoin's next rally, I could make $10,000 or $20,000 or much more from what you're saying.
That's the opportunity. But keep in mind, we just need transactions. We don't need Bitcoin to move in a particular direction.
Okay, so you're really just harnessing the power of these transaction spikes, right?
That's right. Transaction spikes during rallies and pullbacks. So whenever you see Bitcoin going up or down, for every $1,000 Bitcoin traders made or lost, you could have made 6,000, 9,000, even 22,000, no matter which way it moved.
Okay, I got it now. Okay, so this is making much more sense. We don't need Bitcoin to go up or down. We just need it to move in either direction. And when that happens, we can collect this cash.
That's it, Kim. You got it.
All right, got a great teacher here. Because honestly, Bitcoin could crash tomorrow for all we know. And we have seen that happen countless times.
And in that case, you could even go for bigger payouts. That's what I love about this strategy.
Well, I'm starting to love it too. All right, Larry, show us how we can collect our first skim starting tomorrow, even if Bitcoin crashes.
Let me show you a case study, Kim. And to be clear, this is a real recommendation that I issued to my followers. In this case, Bitcoin lost a modest 1.76%. Bitcoin traders lost about $88 for every $5,000 they had invested in Bitcoin.
And let me guess, your followers could have somehow profited from that move.
Yes, with a $5,000 investment, you could have skimmed $4,036 from this same 1.76% drop.
While Bitcoin traders were losing money.
Yes, while Bitcoin traders were losing money, and you can see when Bitcoin crashes, it even can generate bigger payouts. You'll see what I mean with my next case study.
Okay, well, let's take a look here. I can see that Bitcoin fell by 8.07% this time.
Bitcoin traders were tearing their hair out,
I'll
but
bet.
our followers were able to turn that crash into $4,898.
Wow. Well, that sure sounds better than an 8% loss.
Are you starting to see the magic here, Kim?
Oh, absolutely. I am seeing the magic. And I got to say, Larry, I'm really wanting to give this a shot.
Well, I'm glad you're with us on this, Kim. And actually, bigger gains are possible. In extraordinary cases, they can be much bigger. Let's look at our next example, and I'll show you.
All right. Okay, so here it looks like Bitcoin jumped 4% in one day.
So Bitcoin traders earned $200 for every $5,000 they invested.
And how about skimmers?
Well, for the same move, skimmers have collected $12,350, and then another $18,650, and then another $33,850, all coming from that same 4% move.
Okay, wait a minute. Really? It's possible to do this multiple times per day?
Well, if you get the timing just right, it's absolutely possible. It's another advantage to skimming over trading, Kim.
Hmm.
Let's take a closer look at this extraordinary example.
All right.
A skim hit at 11:49 a.m. Eastern Time. And starting with $5,000, you could have collected over $12,000.
So $12,350 versus $200 from Bitcoin itself.
But later that day, you could have skimmed another $18,650. That's 93 times more than Bitcoin traders made that day.
It's incredible. And it just keeps going here.
Yes, and that's not all. At 2:55 p.m., you could have skimmed another $33,850 into your account.
All while Bitcoin traders made $200.
That's right.
Wow. But how would I have gotten that money into my actual account? Say if someone's using TD Ameritrade or Schwab or another regular brokerage account to collect these payouts, how exactly does it work?
Well, it all comes down to Bitcoin ETFs, also known as exchange-traded funds.
Okay, of course. They are funds that track the real-time price of Bitcoin, right? But they trade on the regular financial markets, just like a stock.
That's right. The price goes up and down with the price of Bitcoin, but you buy shares like you would in a stock like Apple or Tesla.
Okay, now it's all starting to make sense, Larry. You're not a crypto guy, you're an ETF guy. When you were making over $250 million for your hedge fund, ETFs were at the core of your strategy.
You got it, Kim, and this is just the next evolution in the strategy. The bulk of my success has come from trading simple ETFs like the S&P 500 ETF or the NASDAQ QQQ. Now we're just turbocharging the strategy for Bitcoin ETFs.
And I've heard that Bitcoin ETFs are really popular on Wall Street.
They are. Investors poured $37 billion into BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF in 2024. That makes it one of the top 3 global ETFs. And that's just one of the Bitcoin ETFs out there. But even more importantly, Kim, these Bitcoin ETFs are seeing a huge number of transactions during the day. We're talking about as many as 96 million shares being traded every day.
Wow.
And again, that's just the BlackRock's ETF.
Wow. And with skimming, more transactions can equal more money, right?
That's right. With that much volume, you could expect to see tons of price action, and that's all we need to collect these skims over and over again.
Okay, so how do you turn these moves into cash?
We do it by using ordinary options, Kim. But instead of stock options, we use options on Bitcoin ETFs and other Bitcoin-related assets.
Okay, it makes perfect sense now, Larry. It's like you're combining your proven ETF strategy with this powerful new asset.
You got it, Kim, and the results have been great so far, even by our standards. Let me show you with another example. Okay, take a look here. This time, Bitcoin dropped 4.68% in one day, meaning your $5,000 Bitcoin portfolio would have lost $234. But from this same move, you could have made at least 10 times more, and you could have done it multiple times in the same day. Check out these gains, Kim. You're looking at one extraordinary day.
Yeah, I'll say, look at that. So instead of losing $234, we could have pocketed $3,750. That was just at 9:43 a.m., a few minutes after the market opened.
But the payouts kept coming.
Now, Larry, can that be right? I could have skimmed another $8,400 at 10:11 a.m. Then I could have logged back on and skimmed yet another $24,200 same day and another $31,125, all starting with just $5,000.
That's right, Kim. You're seeing that correctly.
Okay, but what about that really crazy number there? It looks like I could have skimmed $67,500 at 10:03 a.m. That's 1,350% in 31 minutes, Larry. Is that even real?
It's real, Kim, although, of course, these are some of my best performing examples, and they would have taken impeccable timing. I can't promise a 1,350% winner, but huge gains are possible. Do I always get it right? No, nobody does.
Right.
Nothing in the market is guaranteed, but we are starting to see these breakout days more and more often now.
Okay, so let's just think about that. $67,500, starting with $5,000 in just 31 minutes, all from simple options on an ETF through a regular brokerage account.
Like I said, anyone who can buy or sell stocks is capable of skimming. Certainly, if you can trade options on Apple or Procter & Gamble or any other stock, you can easily do this.
All right, you heard Larry. We can do this. And folks, this is coming from the single best options trader on earth, in my view. You started in the trading pits of the CBOE, right? The Chicago Board Options Exchange. And you've used options on ETFs to crush the markets for decades now. So Bitcoin skimming looks like the latest version of a very successful strategy. Fair to say?
That's right. But the potential gains are like nothing we've ever seen before.
Wow. Okay, so here's my next question. I know right now we're just talking about buying options on Bitcoin ETFs here, but how do we know what options to buy and when?
Well, rather than bore you with a long explanation, let me show you with one of our real case studies, okay?
Okay, that sounds great. So tell us, what are we looking at here, Larry?
You can see the two lines on the chart. The blue line tracks Bitcoin's current price. The red line shows Bitcoin's price trend. If the red line's moving up, Bitcoin is in an uptrend.
And that's what we're seeing here.
Yes, you can see here how the blue and red lines have crossed. That's what we call the confirmation cross. When we see the cross, we know it's time to take our skim. All you do is buy an option on a Bitcoin ETF before Bitcoin moves and cash out right after the move takes place.
Well, it really is a simple strategy. So what happened here?
Well, the confirmation cross formed, and look, Bitcoin spiked right after.
Okay, so yeah, you can see it. Boom, right after the cross formed.
Correct. The confirmation cross ultimately led to a 4% rally on Bitcoin.
Okay, I get that, but how could you tell Bitcoin was about to go up versus down again?
Well, let's take a look at the confirmation cross again. You can see how the blue line is moving down through the circle, and you can see the red price trend line moving up.
Okay, yeah, okay, very clear. So does that mean Bitcoin is about to rally?
Bingo. So in this case, the confirmation cross formed, Bitcoin jumped 4.01%. You could have made $200 by investing $5,000 into Bitcoin.
And I bet you could have made much more from skimming, right?
Absolutely. In this case study, we were able to skim $3,776 from a $5,000 investment.
From the same exact move.
The same exact move, the same day. Yes. You can see this isn't a get-rich-quick thing at all. You don't have to go for long shot gambles. Instead, we are going for consistent payouts over and over again, like I have in my 40-year career.
Yeah, I love the consistency of your strategy. That said, we have seen some extraordinary payouts, correct?
Absolutely. Let me show you another case study from our files.
All right, well, I see the confirmation cross this time, Larry. You can see the blue line is going down, but the red trend line is going up. And sure enough, Bitcoin shoots up right after.
Well, Bitcoin rocketed 13.57% in just 5 days. So you could have made $678 from a $5,000 Bitcoin holding.
But with skimming, we avoided risking all that cash in Bitcoin, and I assume we would have made more money too.
You can ask my inner circle of followers, Kim. They saw a quick 87% windfall from the same move.
Wow.
Enough to hand you $4,350 from the same opportunity, starting with the same $5,000 account.
Wow. Okay. Meaning your followers were able to crush Bitcoin traders 6.4 to 1. That's incredible. So literally every time Bitcoin traders make money, it's possible that we can make even more.
That's right. And we can skim just as much when Bitcoin is moving down instead of up.
Okay, yeah, speaking of that, let's say I think Bitcoin's headed to zero. Bitcoin skimming could still make sense for me?
No doubt. Heck, you might make even more. Let's look
Really?
at our next case study now.
All right, let's do it. Okay. Wow. Okay. This one is a little different. I still see the confirmation cross there, but the red price trend line is headed down. So that means Bitcoin is about to fall, right?
That's right. Now, I hope folks watching at home can see the pattern. In this case, Bitcoin collapsed 8.98%, meaning that Bitcoin traders lost an average of $449 for every $5,000 invested.
But with Bitcoin skimming, you actually made money?
My followers were able to skim $2,819.50 from the same nosedive with a $5,000 account in the same amount of time.
So Bitcoin traders had to explain to their spouses how they lost $450 on the Bitcoin hype train. Meanwhile, you were able to deliver nearly $3,000 in cold hard cash.
That's what I really love about the Bitcoin skimming strategy, Kim. You don't need to worry about the markets. You don't need to worry about the economy or unemployment or the Fed. You don't need to worry about inflation and the dollar. You don't even care if Bitcoin goes up or down. Just follow my 3-step strategy and you can start pocketing these payouts too.
I love how simple this is. All right, I think I'm starting to get the gist here. We're using this confirmation cross indicator to confirm the price trend in Bitcoin, and then you're just using options to turn those price moves into huge potential gains. That's it.
Absolutely.
And now, with Bitcoin transactions soaring, as we've discussed, Bitcoin prices are moving like never before. And that's what's making this such a historic and timely opportunity.
That's right. Let me show you my next case study.
All right, I can't wait. Great. All right, there it is. What are we seeing here?
Well, in this case, Jerome Powell's speech at Jackson Hole tanked the markets. The NASDAQ dropped almost 4% that day, and look what happened to Bitcoin.
It collapsed.
Absolutely. It dropped 7.59% after the confirmation cross appeared.
Ooh, so Bitcoin traders lost $379 for every $5,000 invested. How about skimmers?
Well, in that case, my followers were able to skim $3,373 from the same move.
Nice. But it all starts with the confirmation cross.
Well, actually, Kim, it all ends with the confirmation cross. That is the final signal, and in some ways the most important. But no serious strategy would ever rely on one indicator. Doesn't matter how powerful that indicator may be. Now, of course, these are some of my best plays, and I can't guarantee these results all the time, as the market is never guaranteed.
Of course, yeah, we understand that. But please walk us through the rest of your strategy and give us the details on how we can get started, even if we have no experience with this stuff.
Okay, so our strategy uses 19 core indicators, including the confirmation cross. I call them my skim signals. They work together to slash risk first. That's one of my most important things. Second, they help us pinpoint the biggest skim opportunities over and over again.
Okay, so besides the confirmation cross, what other indicators are you using?
Some of my other additional signals include stuff like daily transaction volume, weekly transaction volume, volume delta 10-day, volume delta 20-day, and the list goes on. But I don't want to bore you with that.
Okay.
The important thing is how they work together to help us find the biggest skim opportunities.
You know, Larry, there's a lot to love here, but what I love most is that you've boiled it all down into 3 simple steps here today. So let's take a look at those steps now and then show us how to collect our first skim. Sound good?
Okay, let's take a look at the 3 basic steps to Bitcoin skimming. I think you'll be shocked by how simple this is.
Okay, well, you know me, Larry. I like simple, especially when it's also profitable.
Okay, so step 1 is confirm the trend.
Confirm the trend. Got it.
That just means confirm whether Bitcoin is heading up or down.
Okay, and we've seen how to do that with the confirmation cross, correct?
Bingo, we use our confirmation cross as the final signal there. And once we determine if Bitcoin is headed up or down, we use an option on a Bitcoin ETF or other Bitcoin adjacent asset to turn that movement into money fast.
So step number 2, buy an option. But again, how do I know what option to buy?
Well, if Bitcoin is going up, we use a call option. If Bitcoin is going down, we use a put option. And when Bitcoin moves 10, 5, or even 1% in either direction, Bitcoin ETF options and other assets can soar 100%, 1,000%, or even more, which brings us to step 3. Sell the option and take your skim.
So that's it. 3 simple steps. And I could be crushing Bitcoin 10, 20, even 50 to 1 and more. And I can do this over and over again. And it doesn't matter if Bitcoin's soaring or sinking.
Well, so long as we have price action, that's correct. And even better, you can execute a skim in just a few minutes. In fact, I want to show you exactly how easy this is to do. It just takes 3 steps. Can we pull up a chart?
Yep, we sure can. There it is.
Okay, great. So look, you can see the Bitcoin price line moving up through the cross, right?
Oh yeah, I see it there, Larry.
Well, that's step 1. You find the cross. Step 2, you buy a Bitcoin ETF option to take advantage of the coming move. And in this case, we used the call option because the cross was telegraphing an up move. So you just open up your brokerage account and look for a call option on a Bitcoin ETF that I provide for you. If I was making this trade now, here's what I would do. Of course, this is just for demonstration purposes. I'm not recommending this trade now.
Wow, so it really is just as easy as buying a stock.
Right. If you can buy and sell stocks, you can do this. And then when it's time to sell, you just select sell.
So easy. So placing the skims is what? Less than a couple of minutes of actual work. So, Larry, I can see why you're having so much fun with this.
It is definitely fun. It's just a totally different way to make some money from the market. I guess I just like having a chance to win over and over again.
Oh yeah, I like that chance too. That is a feeling a lot of people would love to have right now, I bet. I mean, we're still not out of the woods with the economy, the markets,
Well, Kim, if you want to really see fun, let me pull up our next skimming case study now. In this case, the cross confirmed an upcoming 18.7% nosedive for Bitcoin.
Ooh, so Bitcoin traders were about to get crushed yet again.
Well, you would have lost $935 on your $5,000 portfolio.
Ooh, ouch. No fun.
But you know what is fun?
Ooh, what's that?
My followers had the chance to skim $3,615 from that same 18% down move in Bitcoin simply by buying a put option on a Bitcoin ETF.
Because put options go up when Bitcoin ETFs go down, correct?
And then some, yes. And in this case study, the Bitcoin ETF crashed and my followers had the chance to collect thousands. But we don't need big moves to see big gains with this strategy either. Take a look at our next case study.
All right, okay, so I see the confirmation cross there again.
And this time, Bitcoin just drifted down 1.76%.
So I would have lost how much on my Bitcoin account?
Well, this time you would have only lost $88. Meanwhile, my followers were able to skim $4,036 from the same down move.
Ooh, that is really nice. And they did it using nothing more complicated than basic stock options, right? Incredible.
That's right. Again, I can trade Bitcoin and lose $88, or I could skim Bitcoin and collect $4,000.
Yeah, the choice is clear there. Larry, I'm convinced. I mean, this makes total sense, even for someone who doesn't care much about Bitcoin. So how do I get started here?
Well, I'm giving away a special report to help everyone get started. It includes the full details of the strategy so that anyone can find these opportunities for themselves.
Sounds great. So tell us what's inside this report.
Well, it contains everything you need to get started. I'll explain everything you need to know in the simplest way possible. That means that even if you don't have any experience with trading at all, you can do this.
So you're arming people with the exact same strategy that you used to find these skims and teaching it to them from beginning to end? Wow. I mean, that's a game changer.
Absolutely. I want to empower ordinary folks and give them the chance to find these type of huge payouts.
But listen, Larry, I've got to be honest here. I'm not sure that I have the time to just sit around and look at charts to find opportunities in the financial markets.
Well, you'd rather be spending quality time with your family, right?
Well, yes, absolutely. To be honest, I certainly would.
Well, I think you'll like this, Kim. I know there are lots of people out there who would rather be doing anything else. That's why every time I find one of these Bitcoin skimming opportunities, I send out an email alert to my followers. The alert will show you right down to the option ticker exactly how to skim your share. Just follow my instructions step by step and you're in.
So you're doing all of the grunt work for us, and your email alerts will explain everything that I need to know, right down to the option ticker and buy-sell instructions?
Exactly. We do all of the hard work for you.
I love it. Okay, and how do we get our names on the list to get these alerts?
That could be the best part of all. I'll send you these urgent email alerts every time I find a great Bitcoin skimming opportunity for free. All I ask in return is that you agree to take my research service for a test drive today. I have a special research service which I call One Ticker Trader, and I've decided to provide all of my upcoming Bitcoin skimming recommendations to One Ticker Trader members free.
Free. So I can get your Bitcoin skims just by trying One Ticker Trader?
That's right, but only for a limited time.
Well, I've seen One Ticker Trader before, and I know how good it is. It's basically a service where you send some of your best trading ideas, right? You issue some of the highest potential trade recommendations that you're seeing in the market right now, plus all of your best hedge fund level analysis.
That's right. I use the exact same trading strategies that I used at my hedge fund. But instead of using them to make money for big institutional clients like banks and billionaires, I now send out the recommendations that I find to ordinary people, including full step-by-step instructions on how to actually make the trades.
I love it. And that includes both buy and sell recommendations?
That's right, Kim.
Okay, so Larry, if I try out One Ticker Trader, I'm going to get an entire year of your best money-making ideas, starting with Bitcoin skimming, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. I'll also get dozens of similar opportunities with ETFs on the NASDAQ, the S&P 500, and even things like gold or oil. And you'll send me all of your future Bitcoin skimming opportunities for the next 12 months for free. Did I get that right?
I really want to make this a no-brainer. So with this setup, you get access to all of my best money-making ideas, plus you get my latest breakthrough Bitcoin skimming free.
That is a lot of resources. So, what if someone's out there watching and they really want to give your service a try, but they've never traded options before?
Well, that's why I'm including one more bonus for folks who sign up today. It's a guide to trading options my way, written in easy to understand terms. It's called Larry's Guide to Options. And even if you have absolutely no clue about all of this stuff, my guide will show you exactly how I trade and how you can trade just like me too.
Folks, I've read this guide and it really is written in the simplest way possible. Larry will walk you through everything from the beginning. And most important, you'll discover Larry's proprietary strategy for trading options without the crazy risk. Now, with this guide, anybody can get started trading options. Whether we're talking about Bitcoin ETF options, QQQ options, SPY options, it's all the same basic strategy. And it's as easy as buying and selling stocks. This guide will show you everything you need to know to get started. What's more, with these plays, your risk is limited to the amount paid for the options contract. You get to define exactly how much you want to risk. That could be as little as a few $100s. Again, you send out all of your recommendations via email alert, correct? So all we have to do is watch our email inbox for instructions.
Absolutely. And we'll also send them out through the Opportunistic Trader app.
Oh, that's great. I love how convenient that is because it means we'll never miss a recommendation no matter where we are. Now, folks, whenever Larry identifies an upcoming opportunity, including Bitcoin skims, you'll receive an action alert to your email inbox and your cell phone. It'll provide you with all the details of the opportunity, right down to the ticker symbol and buy-sell instructions. I mean, Larry, you have really made this as easy as possible.
Well, we definitely try, and a lot of our subscribers have gotten great results.
Yeah, I'll say, I've seen some of the notes from your subscribers, and they're pretty incredible. We've got a few of them on the screen there now. Let's discuss how to get started, because as you can imagine, over the years, people have paid a lot of money to access Larry's ideas and strategies. When he ran his hedge fund, you'd have to pay an annual fee of at least $10,000 just to get started and invest a minimum of $1 million. The good news is you won't have to pay anything close to that. Given that you're probably new to Larry's work, and given that you've probably never used an approach like this before, a 1-year membership to One Ticker Trader retails for just $499.
And I've arranged an even better price, Kim. If you join right now, you can get started for a fraction of that retail price.
Wait, am I reading this right? You're offering one of the biggest discounts I've ever seen.
You're reading it right, Kim. You can get started for just $99. That comes out to 27 cents a day.
That is a real deal. I mean, remember, folks, we're talking about a man who's generated hundreds of millions of dollars in wealth, who had 20 profitable years in a row, and who, according to Barron's, was one of the top money makers in the entire world. To access an entire year of his ideas for such a low price, that's a steal.
Well, we have to charge for this research service because it costs so much to produce. We have a team of dedicated analysts and professionals working on this alongside me. So this is the lowest possible price I can offer. There's only one catch, Kim. I can't guarantee this price will be available for long. My publisher reserves the right to raise it anytime without notice.
Okay, well, folks, you heard him. Please don't wait around and let this pass you by. You should see a Join Now button on your screen. Go ahead and click that now. So you'll need to move fast here. Again, just click the button right now to claim your spot. And here's a recap of everything you get when you subscribe. Your first membership benefit is some of Larry's best Bitcoin skimming opportunities over the next few months. He'll email the full instructions to you directly when the time is right, and also send an alert to your phone so you don't miss it. Secondly, you'll also get all of the benefits of Larry's One Ticker Trader service. That includes some of the best trading opportunities he's seen elsewhere in the market. Larry only sends out extremely high conviction trades. So some months you may get 2 or 3 recommendations. Other months, you may get 1. But either way, the goal of each trade is to give you the chance at a sizable windfall. You'll also get Larry's special report, his Bitcoin Skimming Blueprint, and Larry's Guide to Options. Like I said, these reports are not available anywhere else. The only way you can get them at this price is through this special offer. Plus, you're also protected by Larry's 60-day satisfaction guarantee. If this fails to deliver in the way that he's explained here, if you aren't happy for any reason at all, just get in touch with Larry's customer service team, either via phone or email, and let them know. They'll arrange a full refund for you. That means every penny back if you aren't happy.
Listen, I've been running this strategy for years now. We've conducted trades when Bitcoin was crashing. We've conducted numerous skims with Bitcoin rallying, and we've optimized it for the biggest Bitcoin boom in years. Now, that doesn't mean you should invest more than you can afford to lose. All investments carry risk, but I am more confident in this strategy than I've ever been in my 40-year career.
Wow, now that, Larry, is really saying something. And it's another reason we can't leave this offer open for long. That's a huge risk Larry is taking on there.
Kim, I have no doubt this strategy will be a game changer. It is built to deliver results, and I stand by it 100%. So I am sure folks are going to love One Ticker Trader.
I'm sure they are. All right, well, it is action time. Click the button on your screen now to get started. And remember, this is an extremely limited time offer. Larry has given his very best price and a cast iron money back guarantee. So that means there's zero risk in joining. But once the doors close, the opportunity will be gone forever. So I don't want you to miss out. You can get started in just a few minutes. Click the button to start a no-risk trial subscription to Larry's research service, One Ticker Trader. Now, before we go, Larry, is there anything else you'd like to say?
I just want to say that I sincerely hope that the folks at home will join us today. Bitcoin is in a bull market right now, trading at 100,000. This strategy is made to both hedge and help you make money on both the up and down side. We make sure that we take risk first, most importantly, and make sure that we keep you as safe as possible. I want everyone to have the opportunity to participate in Bitcoin's market moving forward. And I want to thank everyone for joining me today. As I like to say, let me help you put a P on the page.
I love that. Put a P for profit on that page. Folks, to get started, simply click on the button. It will take you to a secure sign-up sheet where you can review everything one last time. For Larry Benedict, this is Kim Monning signing off. Thanks so much for joining us.